Okay, so I used some hot glue and I hot glued my ribbon together to make a loop. And I squished it to make a cute little center because, you know, a center of a ribbon doesn't look like that. It looks smaller, a little bit more put together. So now you've got this cute little fluffy loop, and you take some florist wire and you go in the middle and twist again. So you basically have almost like an insert to put in the middle of your ribbon, which, again, like I said, a competent ribbon maker could make you a really nice bow, and you might have to pay them to do it, or if you have a relative that's really good at it, then you can do it. I just find cheating easier and doing it in parts. So this is part 2 of our ribbon. So I have my center, and again, you're using a really thin florist wire, so when I put this on here, no one's going to know that it's a separate bow, except for you guys, because, you know, I told you how to make it. So I'm going to put my center in here, and I'm going to try and center it so that it looks good in my actual ribbon. So it's a little off center, so I'm moving it again. And you just play with it until you like where it is. And that's a little bit better. So now I'm going to go to my back, and I'm going to twist it closed. That way it stays on. And try and bend down all the pokey parts so when somebody grabs this wreath they don't get stabbed, because that wouldn't be very good. And burlap and ribbon are all very forgiving, so that helps too. So you can fluff and move until you have it just so. So there's our center. And again, it looks like a nice fancy bow, and I just did it in 2 pieces instead of 1. Now this third part is optional. I like making tails on my ribbon to add a little bit more blue to the sides here on my wreath. You don't have to. You could leave it like this. You could even do a simple 2-part ribbon that you usually see with just 2 loops and a center. I like the bigger, fluffier bows for wreaths. So to make the tails, I'm going to kind of eyeball this a little bit. I'm going to start right up in here, and I want to see how far I want my tails to go. So right about here is a good length. I don't want it all the way around because I don't want it to cover all my red. So I'm going to just kind of cut it right about here. Now you don't want your tails to be too short either, because then the ribbon is going to look bigger than your tails and it's not going to look as symmetrical. Now to get the same size on the other side, we just measure and cut. Come here. There we go. So now I have 2 tails about the same length. Now you can choose to kind of artfully arrange it so it's not flat and doesn't look like this, and you can play with it. I like to take the ribbon and I like wrapping it around 2 of my fingers tightly. And it's wire, so it's going to form. And then you just pull, and you've got a cute little sort of swirly tail. So it's a little bit more decorative. And again, you can move it if you don't like it. And we're going to put it like that. And of course, we will make it work a little bit better. And maybe I want it the other way. I'll play with it a little bit until it lays on here like I want it. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Wrap it around 2 fingers. Or if you had a broom handle or a chair that had a nice little circular rod that you can do this around, it's a little bit easier to get it a bit more rounded. But it's just to make the tails a little bit more interesting. And to attach them, again, you use florist wire, probably not this long of a piece, and then you can attach it right underneath here, and you'll have your ribbon all done.